Thank you, Lord. They wrote me off. They thought I would die. They tried to bury me while I was alive. They never know purpose, cannot die. They thought I was hopeless, but I survived. They wrote me off, yeah. They thought I would die. They tried to bury me while I was alive. They never know purpose, cannot die. They thought I was hopeless, but I survived. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I'm still alive.
I want to say good morning, good afternoon again to all our listeners and our viewers from across the nations of the world. It is another Friday, and we are here in the land of the living because of his love and his mercies. We want to thank him for his mercies, which are new every morning. Yes, we are here. Good afternoon to you, Sister Andrea. I have to keep remembering that you're already ahead of me and you're already in your afternoon. So good afternoon to you, Sister Andrea. So good that you can jump on in. Happy Friday to you, Sister Andrea. How are you doing over there in New Jersey? How is the weather in New Jersey? How are you this Friday morning? You know, we're getting ready to go live with our very special guest this morning, Pastor Dennis Taylor. He is joining us all the way from St. Anne, Jamaica. And I know that you people are saying, Lord, St. Anne, St. Anne is the best parish, man. Listen to me. We already had the debate and we won hands down. There was no competition. So, you know, not that I'm not going to bring anybody else on from another parish or from another country, because we've had persons from the States, we've had persons from Cayman Islands, you know, but we have someone this morning from my beautiful home parish of St. Anne. And guess what? From my beautiful hometown, Ocho Rios. Yeah? So I know that once you hear Pastor Odette open her mouth, she's going to say something about Ocho Rios. I was talking to Denise the other day and she said it to me. She said, every day you come on, yet I can't help it. I cannot help it. You know, but I want to give God thanks for another day. And as I said, good morning, good afternoon to all our viewers, all our listeners across the nations of the world. I thank you for making it HGG Radio. You could have been doing something else with your time, but you're here with me this morning, and I give God thanks for you. We're going to be going live shortly with Pastor Taylor out of Jamaica. And the song that you are hearing, it is Purpose Can't Die. And you know, actually, when I clicked on the song for it to start playing, guess what? This is Pastor Taylor's nephew. So when you talk about purpose, yeah, a family that's full of purpose. So, you know, I had Trey Taylor on some time ago. And so we're going to be talking to his uncle today, Pastor Dennis Taylor. Purpose can't die. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. Purpose cannot die. I see the numbers going up on Facebook, the numbers going up on YouTube. You are here with us this morning. Just jump on into the chat and say good morning where you're watching us from. We would love to know where you're watching us from. We know that we're reaching across the nations of the world. So just jump on in the chat and let us know where you are watching us from. If you are on HGG Radio and you are listening to me right now, you can jump onto our WhatsApp group and send in a message letting me know where you're listening from. And that number that you can send a message to is 825-343-4486. That's 825-343-4486. Go ahead. Let me know where you're listening from. And if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, just let me know where you're watching from. I would love to know. Okay. So good afternoon. Okay. All right. So someone sent in a prayer request. And so we have Pastor Taylor in the house, so we can have him pray for you before we depart the segment this morning. So good morning to you, Sister Armstrong. Not sure where you're joining from, but it's good to have you on this morning with us on HGG Radio. Good morning to you, Shella. Good morning to you. You're watching from Jamaica/USA. What? I didn't know. All right. All right, so Sister Armstrong is watching from New Jersey. All right, New Jersey in the house, Jamaica and the US in the house. Good morning to you guys. Always so good to have you jump on and be a part of our program. You know, I just love my HGG family from across the nations of the world. And, you know, I have my sister Roxy and I have my sister Andrea and I have brother Orin, and I've never met any of them, but can I tell you, I feel like I know them long time. So Sister Roxy saying good morning and happy Friday. Pastor Odette sending praises. Oh, you weren't on yesterday, you're on the road. So you see, my HGG family, whenever they're missing in action, you know, they always say, you know, this is what happened and that is what happened. And I know who is on and who is not on, you know. So I give God thanks for everyone this morning. Good morning to you, Sister Karine. And where are you joining us from? Great morning, you said. So great morning to you. Where are you watching us from? We're going to be going live shortly with Pastor Dennis Taylor out of Jamaica. So I want everybody to get ready. And, you know, I think mango time is done. So get your cup of coffee, cup of tea. You're watching from New York. All right. So New York in the house, New Jersey in the house, Jamaica in the house. Awesome. I am absolutely loving it. So I want you guys to just let someone know that we are on. HGG Radio is on. And Regina. Okay, Regina in the house. Good morning to you from Edmonton. What is the weather like over there in Regina? I have not visited Regina in a while. Have some friends that are living there in Regina, and I have not been to Regina in a few years. So what's the weather like down there in Regina? You know, what's the weather like in New York? It's raining here in Edmonton and it is 13 degrees, so it's a little bit on the chilly side. But for those of you who watch or listen to me each and every day that I come on, I said it already, I absolutely love it when it rains. It's my favorite weather. I love it. I know it's weird, but I do like it when it's raining. It's calming, it soothes me. Yeah. And so I like it when it rains. It is raining right now on the outside, and so I am absolutely loving it. I said to someone earlier this morning that this is soup weather, right? So, all right, so here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you the opportunity to tell me what soup I should make today. Pastor Taylor is waiting in the wings. Hi, Sister Vinette. Good morning to you. How are you doing? I miss you. You know what I'm talking about. How are you doing? How is Shanique doing? That's your daughter. How is she doing? I know September is around the corner. You need to let me know what is going on. Where that is concerned, you had asked us to pray about a particular matter. So let me know how everything is going, Sister Vinette. So good that you can jump on this morning. So, all right, people, I'm about to bring Pastor Taylor on. So while we're having the conversation, I want you guys to jump in the chat. Remember, it's 825-343-4486. Tell me what kind of soup I should make today. I'm going to make soup. This is soup whether it is raining. I am thinking pea soup, right? I don't think chicken soup kind of too light for this right now. As much as I'm coming out of not feeling well, I don't feel chicken soupish today. So I feel pea soupish, right? So I want you guys to tell me. I'm seeing all the flags from across the nations of the world, and you guys are just making me smile from ear to ear. So I want you guys to tell me, what soup should I make today? All right, so Pastor Taylor is waiting in the wings and he's smiling. All right, so it is sunny in Regina. It is sunny and a little chilly. All right, so that's good. All right, so Regina in the house, New York in the house, New Jersey in the house, Jamaica in the house. All right. Good afternoon again, Sister Andrea. You jumped onto Facebook. All right, so good afternoon to you. All right, so remember, guys, I will give you the liberty today to tell me what kind of soup to make. I am feeling peas. That's right, Shella. Shella said red pea soup with some beef. I don't know about the pigtail part of it. I don't know where I'm going to get pigtail today, right? I don't know where I'm going to get pigtail. All right, but listen me. For those of you who know me personally, you know that I can drink soup every day of the week. So, Shella, you're oh my God, red pea soup with some beef and pigtail. Lord have mercy. All right, let's keep the main thing. We're not going to be distracted here talking about no soup. So Pastor Taylor is in the wings waiting. And all right, so here he is, folks. There is the man of the hour. All right, Sister Andrea says chicken soup. Sister Andrea, chicken soup too light, man. Remember I said that the rain falling. Chicken soup too light for this. You want something, yeah? Right, so, all right. So, no, Sister Andrea, I like chicken soup, you know. And as much as I'm recovering from the flu, no, give me something else, Sister Andrea. Right now, Shella is leading because she said red pea soup. So tell me something else, Sister Andrea. Any other type of soup that I can go home and make. By the end of the program, I'll tell you what I will make. All right, so we have Pastor Taylor in the house. Good morning to you, Pastor Taylor.
Good morning.
How are you doing today, sir?
And you're here earlier, right?
I'm hearing you, but there's a little echo in the back. Let me make sure it's not from my end. All right, you can speak again. Let me hear.
Mic check 1, 2.
All right. Yes, I think that was coming from me. The feedback was coming from me. So welcome to you, sir.
Let me try again because I'm using a speaker on my laptop. So let me see. I'm turning it up. So you're not getting that feedback?
No, I'm hearing you loud and clear, sir.
Okay, good.
So good morning to you. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. It's another blessed day.
Yes.
Well, still trying to cope with the loss of mom, but I'm getting there.
And you know, I was just about to say my condolences to you and to the entire family. And for those of you who are on HDG Radio, you often know when I bring someone on, I'll tell you that I know them from. When I do this, it means this is not even way back. The Jamaicans, we have a saying that says from when Wappy killed Philo. I have no idea who Wappy is. I don't know who Philo is. But can I tell you, all right, so I know Pastor Taylor. I've known Pastor Taylor all my life. Yes, people. Yes, this is another one that we go way, way back. Everybody everybody that I know, full of purpose, man. So we go way, way, way back. And he just lost his mom. His mom was very dear to me. And, a mother in Zion. And so my condolences to you and to the rest of the family. She will be missed. And, every time I go to Jamaica, I always go to visit his mom, and, we have a running joke. And I'm going to be very transparent. So I said it to Pastor Taylor the other night. We have a running joke, me and his mom, and his mom would say to me, Sister Odette, as she know me from, she's my Sunday school teacher, everything, And she said, Lord have mercy. Sister Odette, I want to see her get married, When you're going to make me eat cake? When you're going to... So it was a running joke with me and Sister Taylor that whenever I go to Jamaica, she says nothing else to me. That's what she would say. She wants to eat cake. And, Pastor Taylor's sister called me when their mom died and she said, boy, Odette, mama not get to eat cake at all. But, you just have to remember the good times. And she served the Lord for a long time. And when she died, she was what, 91?
91.
She was 91, so a stalwart that ran her race and ran it well. And we give God thanks for women of Zion that held the fort and kept the faith. So in all of the times that you're going to be going through, just remember the happy times, because I know that there are many happy times, because I'm saddened that she's physically not here with us anymore, but I remember the good times and I smile each and every time I remember the good times. So again, my condolences to you and to the rest of the Taylor family and all that are grieving right now and missing her. And you know what? We really don't grieve. The separation is what gets us, because we know she's physically not here. But you know what? We have a hope that we're going to see her again.
Yes.
We have a hope that we're going to see her again. So again, my condolences from HGG family to your family. Thank you again for coming on. It is indeed a privilege just to have you here with us today. And I know that you're a very busy man, and you have made the time, and I am absolutely loving it. So, all right, folks, we're going to be talking about balancing on purpose, and that is what we focus on in this segment. So, I talk about balancing, and balancing is actually, it says, to be in a position where you will stand without falling on either side. So you're not tipping to the right and you're not tipping to the left. You are in perfect balance. And that's what balancing means. And when we look at the word purpose is the reason for which something is done or created. So we're looking at the word or the phrase balancing on purpose. So you're doing it and you're doing it deliberately. And so we have Pastor Dennis Taylor with us this morning. And as I mentioned, we go way, way back. I think, man, maybe you can tell me when I was born. Lord have mercy. We go way, way back. And he is a husband. He's a father. He is, as I said, he's a brother. He's a son. And he is a marriage officer. He is a pest control operator. He is a pastor. He is a counselor. He is also the vice chairman for Region 3 of the National Parent Teachers Association in Jamaica. All right. And this consists of 2 parishes. That is St. Anne and Trelawney. And he actually now sits on 3 boards of the schools. He's a board member of 3 different schools. And the church that he presently pastors is the Emmanuel Wisdom Center Apostolic Church in Gibraltar, Monigue, St. Anne. And I'm sure that there are many other things that you do, sir. And so I say, welcome to the Morning Flow. Welcome to our segment, Balancing on Purpose. And I want you to go ahead, introduce yourself to our viewers and our listeners from across the nations of the world.
All right. Thanks for having me, Pastor. It's really indeed a privilege to be here. And as you said, not sounding my own alarm, but as you said, sometimes I can be so busy, but I really do find it a pleasure to make this time. And as you rightly said, we're coming from way back, way back. And Dennis Taylor is the name. Unfortunately, I'm the only son that is left of my siblings. My 2 other brothers, they have died. So I only have my sisters now alive. And so, yes, you made mention of my nephew, Craig Taylor, who did that song, Purpose Can't Die. And I'm just a humble servant of God, just someone who just tried to make myself available to be used. Funny enough, this morning when I was getting ready, Pastor, I remember a situation, an encounter with you before you left Jamaica at Bethel. I might be jumping the gun, but I want to share this before I forget. I remember they were having I think it was a week of service. But on the last night, which was the Friday night, you were sitting at the back bench. So that would be where you're coming in. It's the new church there now. And so where you're coming in, that bench on your right hand. You were sitting there and service was dismissed and you were still sitting. And when I was passing by you, up to this day, I still can't recall what was it I said to you. But I stopped. The Spirit of the Lord just lead me. Then again, I didn't even know then that it was the Spirit of the Lord. But I stopped and I just shared a word with you. And you look at me and you said, thank you so much. I was waiting for a word from the Lord for all this week. And throughout the entire week of services, I did not get that word. And you just gave me that word. I can't tell you what was it that I said, but I know I stopped and just gave you some form of encouragement. And that was it for the week of service. You waited on the messages through the entire services, and it did not happen. And on my way to the door, I stopped and I gave you a word. And man, I never forget that. Man.
Okay, well, thank you for bringing that up, and I was thinking about you coming on to one since we're down memory lane. I actually have a memory of you, and it came back to my mind while I was preparing to come on. And that was, as I said, and as he has said, folks, we go way, way back. And I remember back in the days when we were both on the junior choir, I remember, and we would have choir practice on Saturday nights. And I remember that you and a number of other persons walked me home. And, you guys lived in Old Boxfield and I lived in New Boxfield, and you walked me home all the way. And you said, Sister Thompson, see her here. So, folks, we're really, really coming from a way, 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 way down the road we're coming from, But I give God thanks for what he's doing in this time and in this season in your life. Because when you see, somebody that you've known for a while and you watch and see how God has molded and shaped and fashioned them into a vessel of honor that he would gladly use and gladly put on display, you just have to smile and say, to God be the glory. And I thank God for everything that he is using you to do right now. So, we talked about your mom passing, and you mentioned that Trig Taylor is your nephew. And we talked, a little bit about or history, looking at where you're coming from. And I know that you've been instrumental in a lot of young persons' lives. If you were to talk to someone today who is trying to find their purpose, what advice would you give to them that they're in that position and they don't know what they are here for? How would you advise them?
I firmly believe that being on this program today is divinely orchestrated by God, because for about 2, if not 3 weeks, I have been on this journey with the folks at church. Because for some reason, and I think where it is coming from, one of my ministers died the 1st of August. That minister was one of my right hand. He was one of my right hand at church. And there are times when I would feel a bit under the weather where ministry is concerned. And he would just out of nowhere so many times. And even not too long ago, a sister just texted me and she was trying to remember. She said she can't remember the words that he said to me, but she remembered about the second to last Sunday before he passed. Right after he finished teaching Sunday school, he moved into encouraging me. And since he passed, I find that I've been going down the path of helping persons to understand what your calling is. I don't believe that you are saved just to sit down and warm the bench. And I was saying to them, it's not anything that it's so hard to find. First, you need to consult with God. Go to God and ask, Lord, what is it? Ask him for clarity. And I'll use that word, clarity, because a lot of times you have an idea, but you're not sure. And I also would have said, don't underestimate what the purpose is, because sometimes I think where people go wrong with not really knowing what your purpose is and how to go about it. It's because you really probably think and you look at Mary and you look at John and you see John preaching up a storm and you feel like, why, this is what I should be doing, you know. When of a truth, that is not you. That is not you. So seek after God. Lord, what is it that you would have me to do? Lord, please bring clarity to that which, because sometimes it is something that you're actually doing already. You're actually in it. You might find yourself ministering to people. It's not from the pulpit, but and I said to the folks, sometimes you wonder, why is it that people always try to find you when they need a word of encouragement with whatever situation they're going through? And yet you can't understand that that is your purpose. It's not always in the four walls. It's not in the four walls. Your purpose can be out there. God would just have somebody to find you when they're going through challenges. God might just have you to be the one to talk to a mother who is having challenges with a daughter, with a son. So it's really asking God, Lord, please give me clarity. Give me clarity to that which what is my purpose? The purpose, the thing that you have got, and it is something that you enjoy. It must be something that you enjoy doing. So I would say the first step, if you are seeking after God and you want to know, ask Him for clarity, because it's there. It's there, but you're probably overlooking it because we have a way of underestimating things, and because this might not be something that we think is recognized, highly recognized, then we don't want to think that this is what the Lord may have called me to do. So we need clarity. Yes, clarity is really what we need to pray for, because I don't believe that God would call you to do something and He would have you in the dark. No, it's there, but you need to ask God for clarity. Lord, clarity, bring it clear. Let me understand it. And I believe that is why I'm here this morning. So you can now stop and look and say, oh my God, you know, all this time I wasn't paying attention to that. Helps. You find yourself, and I say to folks, my wife seems to be in she seems to have a whole lot of, but I said to them, there is this one man, this one she operates in is helps. She would give away every single thing. Sometimes I run the joke and say, no man, I have to take on myself because you look like you will give me away too. Helps. Sometimes we don't think that this is our calling, this is our purpose, when we can be there to give to somebody when they are in need. The Lord will just put you don't necessarily have to have it, but the Lord will put you in a position where things will come to you from others to bless others. That is what you're there for. Oh Lord. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so we have it there, folks. You know, you need to consult with the Lord and make sure that you're getting the directions from Him. And, you know, you don't look at what others are doing. Don't look at what others are doing. We're all unique in our own way. And I love the fact that you touched on even helps. A lot of persons don't find that to be something that they want to do. And it's not glamorous. It's not at the front of everything that people are seeing. But can I tell you, see those persons that have been gifted in that area where they have helps, they have a good heart and they want to just help. And you're right, they give away everything. And every time you see them, they're giving you something. Could it be one banana, one patty, something? They're giving you something. And you know, it is the heart that it's the heart that God looks at, and He will use you according to what He has put into you. All right. So with all of that,
just before you move faster, it just came back to me what I would have liked. I used this illustration at church on Sunday, and I said to them, look at even our body, the members of our body. Look at the members of our body. And let's look at it in that aspect where the church is concerned. Can you imagine if your body was all head, your body was all hands? And so look at how your body functions, all the members of your body functions. with their different purposes and calling. Now, if the hands, something accidentally go in your eye, I'm sure that your hands don't stay one side and say, no, because me I know the ears, or me I know the whatever, I'm not doing anything. No, your hand immediately gone straight up to the eye. Your feet is going to take you probably to the bathroom where you can get whatever to flush the eye. Every part of your body comes into action and they play different roles. So in the body of Christ, this is how it is. So you can't be the hand, you will be the feet. You won't be the head, you will be the neck. You're so important. And so sometimes we probably don't, and we need to take the limits of what it is that God has called us for. You're so important. The neck is, you can imagine if you don't have a neck, your whole body will have to turn. But the neck is there to help the head to turn without turning the entire body. Every member of the body is important, and that is how it is where purpose is concerned.
I love it. I love it. Every member is important. Every member has a function. All right. So with that said, sir, all right. So we are looking at ministering and ministry on a whole. And a lot of persons have a tendency to think that, okay, Sunday is coming up or Saturday is coming up, depending on whenever you go to church. Is ministry only on the day of worship? Is it only on a Sunday? Is it only on a Saturday?
I want to tell you, no, ministry can be 7 days per week, 24 hours per day, and 12 months per year. That is ministry. Ministry never stops. Never stop. Sometimes I would love to even get another 12 hours in a day. Yeah, you need another 12 more hours because it's like the day ends so fast and there's so much to do. So it's not on a Sunday. It's as I said, it's a 7 days per week, it's a 24 hours per day, and it is a 12 months per year. That's ministry.
All right. So it is every day of the week, not a performance. You don't come on a Sunday and say, okay, I'm going to have ministry now. And it is every day. It's a part of everything that you do. All right. So we listed a number of hats that you wear. And we talked about the fact you're a husband. You mentioned your wife. And I know you're a father. You're a marriage officer. And you're a pastor. You know, I know you do your counseling. What inspires you? You as an individual, what inspires you?
When I look back over, and I try to think of the things that inspires me. There are so many things, but I'll use this one, which is main. Seeing the change that comes from one's life through making myself available in whatever way. That is what inspires me. See the change that comes to one's life. Because it is not about just, ministry is not about just doing, but it should be about impacting. There must be a change. And even when we look at someone coming to God, it's not just to say you come and you accept God. There must be some change. There must be, it must be visible. So for me, it is being able to bring about change, helping someone's life to have that impact and bringing about. So if it is that this person is down, helping you in whatever way to get up, helping you to get over, helping you to go through is what inspires me. Yes, more than anything else. Change, being able to help to bring about change inspires.
Okay, wonderful. You want to see the result of what you have put in. So awesome. All right. So what is it that you now know that you wish you had known earlier?
I wish I had known earlier that ministry would have taken up so much of it's so consuming. Listen, I wish I had known that all of this would be so consuming and would require so much of me. And when I thought about it, I said, and what I use keeps me going is that I keep saying, to whom much is given, much is required. This is what keeps me going, because sometimes when the thing seems so overwhelming and so consuming, I just keep saying to myself, and I say to others, to whom much is given, much is required. There are times when I feel like I would just fold my hands and just sit back. Yeah, but no, I can't. Because to whom much is given, much is required. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And so I believe that I would look for folks who so desirous to go in. Don't find yourself into it like myself and others. Is when you get in there, then that you're understanding. Yeah, man, do some groundwork and have a knowledge and understanding of what it entails, because it can be a shocker. It can be a shocker and it can be overwhelming when you get there and you feel like, no, sir, because I have known pastors' wives who were having challenges with this because they didn't bargain for this. They didn't bargain for this. And so you really need to have a knowledge and understanding of what it is that I'm getting myself into. Yeah, so nothing is wrong with doing some groundwork and doing, yeah, man, understand and know what it is. So when you get there, it don't take you by surprise. You will know that, well, yes, I'm expecting this, but then how I deal with it is what matters. But yes, be prepared. So we need to be prepared.
I absolutely love it. And that is a very valid point. Do some groundwork because you have an idea as to where God is pulling you to. Nothing is wrong with doing the groundwork. And yes, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And it is because you don't have the knowledge and you go in and you feel so overwhelmed. And can I tell you, I understand. That's why I was laughing when you said it, because so many times I have to keep repeating that scripture to myself. To whom much is given, much is required. And sometimes you don't want to turn up and sometimes you want to turn off your phone. But to whom much is given, much is required. And so I thank you for your transparency. Not many are transparent to say, that this happens from time to time, that, you feel like you want to turn off your phone. You feel like you just want to lock away and don't see anybody or talk to anybody. And then you have to, the Spirit of the Lord will just remind you, say, to whom much is given,
Right.
much is required. So when other persons are fast asleep, you have to be up, and so thank God for persons like you, and thank you for your transparency. All right, so with everything that we have outlined so far with regards to what you are presently doing with ministry, with your family, with your personal life, what is your biggest accomplishment?
There are quite a number, but when I sit and I look, and I weigh them in the balance, when all is said and done, all that we have accomplished in life ends at the grave. And so I get to this place where my biggest accomplishment is becoming a spiritual influencer, pastor. Because why I did not say becoming a pastor, because it's one thing to become a pastor, because some people are just pastor, but being a spiritual influencer says more. And so my biggest accomplishment is being a spiritual influencer. Yeah. When I look at how I make myself available to God, that because I say to folks, and sometimes when we were growing up, sometimes and no disregards to our leaders before, but we used to get this feeling like once we're saved, we're supposed to just be looking for the coming of the Lord. And so nobody really wanted to further themselves. Nobody really wanted to go to study, go to college. And I said to folks, no, build a big house if you want. Get your doctorate and your degrees and your masters. Do all that you need to do. Nothing is wrong with that. A child of God can accomplish all that you can. But when all is said and done, make sure that you are right where God is concerned, because all of these accomplishments, we're going to leave them right here. So all the doctorates, sometimes when you hear, and I want to be careful here because I don't want it to sound negative, but sometimes when you hear all the accolades that is read out before a preacher is being introduced, oh my God, sometimes that alone take up the preaching time. And nothing, and don't misunderstand me, folks. Nothing is wrong with it, but that is not what really matters, you know. And I'm not knocking the credentials, but I want to know at the end of the day that when we have accomplished all that we have accomplished, that our stand with God, we don't want to hear depart from me. So with all that I have accomplished, I will not put anything above becoming a spiritual influence. And this is what I'm working at. While I think of a doctorate, and while I think of this and pushing myself and studying more, yes, that is all in the plan. But being a spiritual influencer to help to save a soul, that is my biggest accomplishment. When I can help to pull somebody from sin, biggest accomplishment.
And there you have it, folks. This is the word straight from Pastor Taylor's mouth. His biggest accomplishment is making sure that he influences someone to make the right decision. You know, at the end of the day, persons don't understand that our lives are what a lot of people are watching. Yeah? And so when you can influence them, you know, be a Naomi. I always say this, be a Naomi, that someone can say, you know what, your God will be my God. And where you live, I'll live, and where you worship, I'll worship. And so I thank you so much. And oftentimes we lose focus, you know, because we wanna, and I agree with you. We're not bashing the accolades. We're not bashing the titles. We're not bashing the alphabet. We're not bashing it. It's good to get it, right?
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it does have an end point. What happens after that? Right? What happens after that? All right. So with everything that we have talked about to this point, and so we touched on the fact that, you know, we highlighted ministry in the major part of your life, but you are also the vice president of Region 3, and that is for the National Parent Teachers Association of Jamaica. And we know how important it is for parents to be active in the lives of their children, that when they go to school, that they don't just leave everything up to the teachers. So the Parent Teachers Association is a very, very active society in Jamaica, an association in Jamaica. And you also sit on the board of 3 different schools. I want to know how that happened. Right? I want to know, how did you become a board member for 3 different schools? But in saying that, what I want to know, sir, all right, so we all have 24 hours in a day, right? We all have 24 hours in a day. So I want to know, how do you balance it all? How do you balance being a pastor? Because being a pastor in of itself is a 24-hour job. So how do you balance being a pastor, being a husband, being the father to your children, being an active member on these school boards, also being the vice chairman of Region 3, a counselor, a marriage officer? How do you, I want to know from start to finish, how do you balance it?
It can be tedious, it can be challenging, but what I would say to folks, you have to try to discipline yourself in time management. Time management is very important. It's very important. And so you just don't There are times, yes, when um, there and while you work with time management, you will also have some slots for things that that were not planned for, because you will get a call, and that is not something that you have written down in your diary or in your phone. But then, because you are working with time and you leave slots here and you leave slots there, then you're able to fill in as you go along. But I think time management is one of the most important area there that will help you. And don't be afraid to make a to-do list. Write things down. When I leave my house in the mornings, I have my diary, and sometimes I do slip up, yeah, because the diary is there and I don't check it. You can't work from your brain, your memory. There's too much to remember. So don't try to work from your memory, and nothing is wrong, and you're not getting old. Don't feel that it is old. It is just having so much to do that you have to write things. Get in the habit of writing. I know Minister Osborne, Ralston Osborne, always said to me, you know, I think you're in the wrong field, because he always, when you see me, when you check my pocket, I have at least 4 pens. You'll never find me. My vehicle have about probably 10 or 20 pens. My bedside table have about, yes, black in one section and blue in one section. And so I always have pens and papers around me. And he said, but for somebody who love to write and so on, well, you should be an accountant or something. But practice yourself to write. So it helps to keep you on track. And so at the end of a day, I would go back to my diary while it's in my phone, and I would set timers on my phone for every weddings. And sometimes even with the weddings, sometimes I remember there are days when I have at least 6 weddings in one day. And you're talking about like probably an hour or half an hour between them. And so my phone is there sending me, I set my phone to always give me a day in advance notice, and I set it for the day to give me at least 2 hours notice prior to the time. And so I have to use these things to help to keep me on track, because memory alone won't do. And so time management is very important. Yeah. So you will be able to get through most, if not all, that you have to do. But when you just leave yourself up to and you just go randomly and you jump here, you jump there, it doesn't work. So I find that sometimes even as Christians, and Christianity don't say that you must, oh Lord, help me Jesus, I'm going down a road here now. Christianity don't say that you must, they have a Jamaican term where you chaka chaka. No, nothing is wrong with having your thing properly structured. And even your services, mark you're going to allow the Holy Ghost to take over and to lead. But your thing must be structured. You can't just jump here, so jump there, so you look like people who know when things are structured. We know when something is properly planned, or when it is organized properly, because they can see. And so that is how, as Christians, we need to organize ourselves. When you walk into a place, people are supposed to say, wow, man, he's so organized, she's so organized, because you plan your thing properly. So don't just leave it up to, yeah, man, God will remind me, and God will, no. I will say, God help those who help themselves. You have to put things in place. And just like if you're going to do a presentation, nothing is wrong, even with preaching. When you're going, nothing is wrong with going, because I find that sometimes I'll go with my jottings and so on, and Holy Ghost just say it differently. But so nothing is wrong with that. But nothing is wrong with be prepared. Organize yourself. So folks can understand and really get what it is that you're saying. But you're jumping here, you're jumping there, all because you are not prepared, because you're not organized. And you can lose your audience and you can lose people when you are not prepared. So time management is very important. And so nothing is wrong if you have to let this individual know that All right. And even if you don't say it to the person, but you know that you're working with 15 minutes with this thing, you're working with an hour with this thing, nothing is wrong. And you don't have to let people feel like you're rushing, because it's one thing for somebody want to talk to you and they get the feel like you don't have the time for them. You can't be bothered with them. No, no, no. You have to be careful with that. So that is why time management is important. So when you get an unexpected call, unexpected visit, then you're able to fit that in because you're working with a time slot and you organize yourself, and so you can do what you have to do. But outside of that, it will be chaos, because all of what you have to do, going to these schools and oh Lord, going to these schools on school boards and having to be at the schools. I remember, and let me just drop this in. You have to be very careful where time management is concerned. I remember the day that my mother passed, and I am not sure how I really. I'm trying to still weigh my feeling with it. Sometimes I was talking about it on Sunday in church, and I felt like I was getting to the point where I was breaking, and then I just stepped and just hand over the mic to my wife for her to bring the service to its close, because I felt I was breaking. And it was at the point where I was saying the morning of my mother's death. I remember when I woke up that morning, and because my schedule starts from 5:30 every morning. And I remember when the alarm clock, when the phone woke me up. When I woke up, something came over me. That 21st of June, my birthday was the 19th of June, and Mom passed 2 days after. The 21st day of June, I remember I woke up and something said to me, go by Mom this morning. Just sit down with her and just hug her and just stroke her head. Yeah, just use your hand in her hair and just stroke her. Just sit down. And I remember that morning, out of all the mornings I would have gone there, because I took my son to school. I take my son to school in the mornings for us 10 minutes to 7. He used to get to school at 10 minutes to 7. So every morning I have to take him. So this is what my schedule is like too, because where I live, you don't have any reliable taxi driver. So I have to take my son to school and back and fit that into all the things that I have to do on a daily basis. So this morning, when I took him to school, I remember now that we were the national parenting. We want to assist the schools at their graduations. So this morning I said, wow, even though the Spirit bids me to go and see Mom and just sit down with her and rub her down. That morning when I dropped my son off, I remember that we have to get some information from the schools as to when is their graduation date and time, and the student that we as a region wants to acknowledge at that graduation with a trophy. And I said, you know what, let me just do this morning. And I run to the schools, get the information, and run home. By the time I got home, a few minutes after, my sister called and said, Mom died. And I was like, what? A pastor, I'm telling you. And I said it at the funeral to my chairman. She was there at the funeral, and I said, National Parenting, you owe me this one. That morning I was to be with Mom, and I knew if I was there, she would have passed in my hands. I would be right there when she passed. That morning, I would have wanted to be there. But time management, very important.
Yes, I do agree with you. Time management is essential, especially when you are multifaceted and you wear a number of hats. You have to be organized. And I love the fact that, you touched and you said that, Christians don't have to be quote unquote chaka. Daniel did whatever Daniel did. If we look in the scriptures, these persons, they did it with an excellent spirit. Everything that they did it. They were the best at what they were doing. And so I love it. Plan your day, be properly organized, and put together. All right. So with everything that we've talked about, and I know that time management, time is going, I have known you for some time, and I remember, you playing the different instruments at church. This is how long I know him, because I know that some of you folks who are on here this morning don't know that him can play anything, eh? But I've known him from before, yeah? And I know him to be a musician, all right? So I don't think that he does that anymore. But with everything that you have going on and everything that you have done over the lifespan of your lifespan, is there anything that you're not good at?
All right, so before I answer anything that you're not good at, I still do play, because as it is now presently, I have to play the keyboard at church, because I don't have a keyboard player, so I still do play. And Minister Luther Williams and Ransford Bennett always, man, you are just one of those talented persons. We can get you to moderate the service. We can get you to sing. We can get you to preach. We can get you to play the instrument. And everything in a service, they said, man, you can feel. But anything that I'm not good at, I say to folks, and my wife will tell you, when she said it, I said, no, it's not that way. You make it sound bad. She said, I'm not the kitchen person. I said, no. It's not that I'm not the kitchen person. I'll do the frying up the eggs, and I'll do the mixing up the drink. I'm good at mixology. I'll blend this and I'll blend that. But you see the long rice and peas and pork and them something that cook it. It is not my thing. So I don't think I'm good at that.
All right. So that means we won't call you to go into the kitchen. All right. Awesome. All right. So talking about the kitchen, what is your favorite food?
All right. When I think about that, I think I really enjoy, I'm not really one of those picky person. I think I really enjoy anything or everything once it is done properly. But I think what touches me is my potato salad. Woo! Mighty God, when you talk about potato salad, man, you're talking about me. I would just, you can keep your rice, and you can just give me the potato salad with my meat and my vegetable, and potato salad, and anytime is good. Yeah, so I enjoy, once it's properly cooked, I'll enjoy any meal. But potato salad, that's me. That's the way to my heart, for those who want to know.
All right, folks, that's the way to his heart, but his heart is already taken. Just note, his heart is already taken. All right, so potato salad it is. All right, that's a new one. Most persons that come on here from Jamaica, the majority will say ackee and saltfish, yeah? So this is a new one for us on Balancing on Purpose. All right, so I want to thank you so much, Pastor Taylor, for coming on. I want to thank you so much for coming on and for making it HGG Radio this morning. All right, so we've come to the end of our conversation. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to just wrap up and to leave some thoughts to our listeners and our viewers. Go ahead.
All right, so it was indeed a pleasure. And I when I do make a presentation, an interview, or whatever it is, I always desire for it to have an impact on somebody. And so I hope that even out of this interview, somebody today will, it will have an impact on you. And what I want to leave with persons, I am at the place now where I want to see persons finding their real true purpose in God. That is where I'm at now. And that is why I would have said it was so important that I be here, because this is where I'm at. There must be something that you can do. There must be something that you're good at. There must be something that God can count on you. And when I say that now, it just takes me right back to my mother. My mother was committed and faithful. And I said, God, I would love for that legacy to be passed on to us as children. I know I have it, but I would want for it to be downloaded even more. My mother was committed and faithful. She stopped serving when she really could not go anymore. I'm seeing persons who still have it in them to still sing on the choir, just feel like they can't be bothered. I've seen persons who are still good, still at the age that they can teach us Sunday school, just can't be bothered. My mother stopped when health became an issue. I want to say to somebody, there must be something that God can rely on you for. It cannot be that you're just saved to just come to church. And I say, too many Christians have no spiritual ambition. I believe that there is something that God has placed in you, and God is calling you. There are persons who would want to kill your purpose, because you have some dream killers that are out there. And I will not hesitate to say, even in the very church, and it sounds bad, but it's true. Even in the very church, you have some persons who will kill the very dream and the very purpose that is in you. But Jesus said to Peter, come unto me, and I will make you fishers of men. He didn't say, come on to whoever, come on. So who is it that called you? So many times we look to man, we look to people, and we try to please people. It is God that has called you. And so even when you get hurt in church, and I say, let me do it quickly, Pastor, because you touch a spot here. Even in church, we are at work and we're having issues with our boss and we're having issues with our co-workers, but we never yet feel like we want to stop going to work because me not gonna make you stop me from getting my dollar that I have to work. But make somebody at church say something about you. God is the first one we're ready to throw it out, and me now go up the back. Me not bother. And if it is that you used to sing on the choir, and if it is that you used to take up, you were an usher, or whatever the position was, God is the first one that we're ready to drop short on. But we're not doing it for the secular work, because this is where my dollar come from, and I'm now going to make you stop me from getting my dollar. But we are ready to do that where God is concerned. Come on, somebody. God is calling you. Somebody here this morning, you have been hurt. Hallelujah. I feel God. You have been hurt, and church hurt is one of the worst hurt you can ever get. I've been there, done that. But God calls you. Shake off the dust and rise again, man. Rise again. There's purpose in you. You have value. There's something in you that somebody, there is an individual that God wants you to reach that nobody else is going to reach. Oh, Lord, I feel a preaching coming on. I hand over to you, Pastor.
I thank you so much, Pastor Taylor, for coming on. Somebody in the comment they just typed it in the comment and I said, preach, preacher, preach. But I thank you so much for coming on and for making it HGG Radio this morning. Indeed, it was an honor and it was a privilege. And, my takeaway from today's interaction, I just love that you touched on being a spiritual influencer. A lot of persons don't understand what that means. And, again, we're not bashing the doctorates. We're not bashing anything else that you can accomplish in this life. But being a spiritual influencer, to know that you impact somebody's life, that they will make a decision to serve Christ as a result of something that you have done. It is an awesome thing. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I thank you so much for coming on this morning. And I thank you for being so candid. I thank you for being so transparent. And I hope that someone on here, either from YouTube or Facebook or from HGG Radio that's listening on, that they have taken away something from this conversation. And again, remember, you can always go back and watch it. But Purpose Can't Die, we have with us this morning Pastor Dennis Taylor out of Jamaica. He is a husband, a father, a marriage officer, pest control operator, pastor, the vice chairman for Region 3 National Parent Teachers Association of Jamaica. He sits on 3 school boards, and the name of his assembly is Emmanuel Wisdom Center Apostolic Church in Gibraltar, Moneague, St. Anne. It was indeed an honor. It was indeed a privilege just to have you on here. God bless you. God bless your work. God bless your ministry. God bless the lives that you're going to be influencing. And thank you so much for coming on. And remember, guys, purpose can't die.
My pleasure, Pastor. Thanks for having me.
They wrote me off. They thought I would die. They tried to bury me while I was alive. They never know purpose cannot die. They thought I was hopeless, but I survived. They wrote me off, yeah. They thought I would die. They tried to bury me while I was alive. They never know purpose cannot die.
It doesn't matter what you are faced with. Purpose cannot die. Purpose must not die. And Sir Craig Taylor, thank you for jumping on. I know that you would have been here to support Uncle. You know, purpose can't die. And each and every time we come on here on a Friday morning and we talk about balancing on purpose, we talk about intentionally doing what you're doing, intentionally putting that foot, one foot in front of the other. And I loved what he talked about this morning. He said, being a spiritual influencer. Being a spiritual influencer, that is very, very important. All the accolades, those are wonderful. But at the end of the day, are you influencing? And I will always go back to Naomi. And Naomi was an ordinary woman, but there was something that was extraordinary about her because she could go over into Moab, a land that actually worshipped a number of idols, and she could influence Ruth for Ruth to say, where you go, I will go. Where you live, I will live. Whatever God you worship, that's the God I want to worship. Your people will be my people. She was a spiritual influencer. So if you take nothing from today's segment, take that. To be a spiritual influencer in the life of someone that you interact with. You know, I want to say again, thank you so much to all our viewers, to all our listeners across the nations of the world. You know, without you, it would not be possible. So I'm seeing Trig that's jumping on, Sister Carlene from Toronto, Sister Stephanie, good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. You know, we're coming down to the end of another program. And I have, you know, I know 2 persons jumped in and they talked about what soup I should go and make. And Sister Shella, you know, you're going to be the winner today. I don't know about the pigtail part of it, but Sister Shella, I'm going to be, I said it's raining here in Edmonton, all right? And it calls for soup. So, you know, I'm going to have the soup on my mind all day until I go home. And I'm going to be making some nice peas soup. It was indeed an honor and a privilege just being here with you all, my HGG family from across the nations of the world. God bless you, Sister Gray, over there in Wisconsin. God bless you. God bless you. God bless Sister Carlene. God bless you, Carlene Williamson. God bless you indeed. It is just so awesome just to see you all jumping on. Sister Roxy, Sister Andrea, and there's so many others that are on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm seeing Sister Hope. God bless you. Yes, Sister Shella, I will definitely enjoy it. I might just take 2 pictures, you know. Persons taking the pictures of their food. I might just take 2 pictures. But, you know, Sister Stephanie, Brother Dean, Sister Janice, Bishop Michael Smith, good afternoon to you, sir. Greetings to you. So good that you could jump on and be with us today on HGG Radio. Also, I'm seeing Sister Armstrong again. So good afternoon. And Missionary Shields from out of Chicago. Missionary Shields from out of Chicago. I greet you, woman of God, in the wonderful name of the Lord Jesus. Pastor Wright out of St. Catherine, Jamaica. So good that you could jump on and be with us this morning. You know, I'm closing out. And for those of you who have not yet downloaded the HGG Radio app, go on your Apple Store, go on your Google Store and download the HGG Radio app. We are an online radio 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day, we are sending up the praises to the King of Kings and to the Lord of Lords. And so go and download the app where you will not miss out on anything that we're doing here at HGG Radio. We are physically located in Edmonton, Alberta. We do have stations across the world because Denise is in California. You know, some of our announcers, they're not here in Edmonton, they're across the world. And we just love what God is doing in this time and in this season, right? All right, so remember, download the HGG Radio app, that when we are not live on Facebook or live on YouTube, you can be listening to the radio right throughout the course of today. Sister Stephanie, what you said, please send my soup. I don't know how I'm going to get the pea soup to you now. Oh, I don't know. I'll take pictures and put on my Facebook page. I'll take pictures and I hope that the pictures will suffice, Sister Stephanie. But God bless you all. As I jump off of Facebook and jump off of YouTube, I'm going to be continuing on the radio side of things. So God bless you. For those who will not be coming across, you know, do enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And remember, be a spiritual influencer. God bless you, Sister Kareen. So good to have you today. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the other side. God bless you.